Hi. As I told you, I will try to summarize all the lectures that we take in this channel, Project Management Simplified. And I will try also to summarize the most important things or topics that we talked about. So in the previous lecture, we talked in Chapter 1, Introduction to Estimating. We have talked about the preface, in fact, and we said that for every project or construction of a project, it's necessary to know its probable cost. And we said that each one of us, or the clients or the sponsors or whatever who wants to have a construction project, he has to start with the probable cost, because he wants mostly he wants to do a feasibility study. So this feasibility study needs a probable cost. One of the things that he requires to do the feasibility study is to have a probable cost. Okay, so let's talk about this graph here, and this is a new one. As I told you that we have some kind of additions for these classes, and we have this one is one of the additions. According to N.J. Smith in his book, which is called Engineering Project Management, this book is very important, and it's a nice book, Engineering Project Management. He has this graph, and he said that many projects suffered from a huge cost and time overruns, mostly caused by underestimates rather than the failure in project management. So, that means that the estimator himself, sometimes they or the estimators or estimation teams, they do underestimation. They estimate the project lowest than the budget required, and this might lead to the failure of the projects. Because as I told the students in the class, and one of the projects that I have participated in, the project was 100% managed, and the progress was very nice and according to the plan, and everything was going well at site. But the problem that we were suffering from in that company, I was a subcontractor at that time with that company, but one of the big companies, in fact. But that company suffered from maybe one or two of its projects because of the underestimation. So the quantity surveyors, the estimators, they are having a vital role in the project, in fact. So the estimates of cost and time are prepared and revised at many stages throughout the development of the project. So let's see this graph here. It's the project stages here, it's mentioned, and also the project cost is here. So in these stages, we will have the feasibility study first. We want to do the feasibility study. So if this point, maybe we'll drop the project, or we will stop, or we will not proceed with the project in this point. At this point, the feasibility study, it will say that whether this project is feasible to proceed with, and it will gain some revenues or whatever is required from this project. Is if it's a positive report, then we will proceed to the next stage, which is the design stage. Otherwise, if it's not feasible, we will stop up to here. Okay, so the design stage is also divided into some parts, like sometimes the conceptual design, then afterwards the detailed design, which is not mentioned here, no problem, because this is not our case here. And then afterwards the construction, after we finish the design. And then there's sometimes the overlap between the design and construction, but here we just want to, like, the author, he just wanted to clarify another issue, which is not the overlapping between design and construction. This sometimes maybe it will be good to mention when we are talking about, like, contract types, or construction, or the process of construction of the projects, and something like that. However, let's talk about this one. So from the first point, you will do a preliminary estimate. So this estimate, it will be just like a rough estimate. It depends maybe sometimes on the area of the project and rate of per area, maybe. Then afterwards, you will reach to this point, to the feasibility study, because each one of the maybe the sponsor, the client, the customer, or whatever, maybe private sector, maybe government sector, or something like that, maybe entities, they want to go for a project, they want to make a project. But the feasibility study, he doesn't need to have like a full detailed design drawings, because this one costs money, as we can see here. So they will not go for this stage. They will have something which is called the preliminary estimate, because it will not cost them that much money, and it will be fast, and it doesn't require to go to the next stage. The next stage is after we decide to proceed with the project. Until here, with this preliminary estimate, he or she, the sponsor of the project, will decide whether it's a profitable or not profitable project. So until at this stage, we have finished the preliminary estimate until here. Then, if the project is good and everything is positive and we need to proceed with the project, we will do appraisal estimate, which is more detailed, little bit more detailed than the preliminary estimate. And we will go ahead for the conceptual design and detailed design, whatever, here to the design stage. And here we will go for the proposal estimate, and this will be more detailed proposal estimate in the design stage, until we finish almost most of the details of the project, because we want to tender the project. So if we want to submit the tenders for the project, at least we need some kind of like details of the project. It doesn't mean 100% the details are available, but something that the contractors can bid for, and they have like a clear view of the project. So the pre-tendering estimate, until here we will have approved estimate, and we will afterwards, the committee of the tender, they will compare this approved estimate with the estimates that the contractors or bidders, in fact, they submit. So until the pre-tendering estimate, we will have the approved estimate, which is, that's it. This is the most reliable, let's say, estimate. Then after the post-contract, after we give this contract, give this project or contract this project with one of the constructors or the construction companies, we will start the construction process and so on and so forth. So this is after the contract between the two parties, or whatever parties there is. Maybe sometimes project management entities will be involved, and consultancies with the sponsor, with the main contractors and subcontractors also there will be. And down here you will see that there is a curve, shows cumulative curve. It shows you the expenditures or the project cost during this full time of the project. So as we said here, the feasibility study, the sponsor of the project, or the client, or the owner of the project, he doesn't need to pay that much or invest that much money for the feasibility study. So this is why they are not going for the design to check on the feasibility of the project. They will do some kind, as we said, the preliminary estimate. And until here, he spent some amount of money, and it's just like starting from nothing, and until it reaches up to this point, then it stops here, and until now he paid this much of money. This is the cost of feasibility. If he wants it, if it's negative, so that's it. He paid this money and he lost this cost of money, the investment, which is not that much big amount of money. Or otherwise, if it's positive, he wants to proceed with the project, he will start this expenditure process again, and he will pay for the design process, and it will go like that. And when the construction starts, the curve, you can see it's going steeper. It's going steeper down. It's sharp decline for the graph. Why? Because the construction, you cannot compare the construction expenditure with the design. The design is much less than the construction expenditure. This is why you have here a steep decline towards down, which means that there is much more expenditure here in construction phase than the design phase. And this is a summary of the lecture that we have taken. It was the first lecture, as we said, and it's not that much. We didn't take that much quantity of information, and this is one of the most important things and the new things that we have explained for the students in the previous lecture. Thank you very much for watching.